Your option to buy an affordable Chinese-made electric vehicle is tonight under threat.
This is probably by far the more important BYD model we're going to see today. It's not actually new, it's been out for a little while in the Chinese market. This is the BYD Seagull, and this is a car creating absolute ructions.
Craig, when you look at, BYD, this is incredible. Like, without recharging, without refueling 2,000 kilometers, is this first of all really doable, and is this groundbreaking?
No one needs to be reminded of how innovation in China has challenged many industries across the globe. And that is why the new engine of this tiny, low-priced electric car called the Seagull.
The UK has always been an open market. We've seen over the years European brands come, Japanese brands come, Korean brands come, and we can see now Chinese brands arriving in the UK. And the British consumer is open to that.
Has American automakers and politicians trembling. In case you don't know, China has the biggest electric vehicle industry in the world, making about 58% of all EVs produced globally. With everyone pushing for sustainable transportation, could this new engine make today's EVs outdated? Will big car companies struggle to keep up or give up the competition? Join us as we dive into how this new engine could change the game for EVs, dominating all previous innovations. Biggest electric vehicle industry. China's electric vehicle, EV industry, is currently the largest in the world, producing a staggering 58% of all EVs globally. In 2023 alone, the country exported over 1.5 million electric vehicles. Sales numbers are impressive too, as China sold over 9 million passenger EVs that year, with the majority being battery-only electric vehicles, and the rest being plug-in hybrids. Battery-only electric vehicles run entirely on electric power from rechargeable batteries, while plug-in hybrid electric vehicles have both a rechargeable battery and a gasoline engine, allowing them to switch between electric power and fuel. These figures highlight China's dominance not just in cars, but also in electric buses and commercial vehicles. By 2019, China had already accounted for 98% of the world's electric buses and 65% of electric commercial vehicles. In 2023, the country added nearly 500,000 more commercial EVs to its fleet.
The nation is now the world's largest EV market. China's electric car sector has been supercharged by government subsidies and the rise of domestic EV companies.
But that's not all. China's electric vehicle market has grown rapidly, with plug-in EVs accounting for 37% of all vehicle sales in 2023. A big jump from only 6.3% 3 years earlier. To put this into perspective, imagine a car dealership where out of every 100 cars sold, nearly 40 are electric, compared to just 6 out of 100 a few years ago. This dramatic shift is largely due to the rise of battery-only electric vehicles, BEVs, which have captured a quarter of the market. The popularity of BEVs is a testament to China's push for clean energy, with both the government and consumers showing a clear preference for greener options. Companies like BYD Auto and SAIC Motor have ridden this wave, not just in terms of market share, but by driving down costs and improving technology, making it easier for everyday people to opt for electric cars. Picture BYD's sleek, fully electric sedans rolling off the lot, competing in price and style with traditional gasoline cars, a transformation in both perception and reality. The backbone of this EV revolution is the battery industry, and here too, China stands at the forefront. Think of batteries as the heart of an electric vehicle, representing about 1/3 of its cost. With companies like CATL, BYD, and CALB producing the majority of the world's lithium-ion batteries,
specifically those used in Ford electric vehicles, including a new battery chemistry coming this year that will help us make EVs more affordable and accessible.
China has a strategic advantage. In fact, 80% of all lithium-ion batteries made globally go into electric vehicles, most of which are produced by these Chinese giants. CATL, for example, isn't just making batteries, but it's shaping the future of transportation by controlling a key part of the EV supply chain. This dominance means that whether you're driving an electric bus in Shanghai or a Tesla in California, chances are high that the battery powering it came from China. This control over both EV production and the battery supply gives China a commanding position in the global race to electrify transportation. It is what has led to the unveiling of the Seagull. The Seagull. If you ever imagine a car that sells for just around $12,000 but offers the quality and performance of vehicles 3 times the price, that's what BYD, a Chinese automaker, has achieved with its electric vehicle, the Seagull. Launched last year, the car delivers smooth handling and impressive craftsmanship, putting it on par with US-made electric cars. There's even a shorter-range version that goes for under $10,000, making it an appealing option for budget-conscious buyers. For now, steep tariffs on Chinese imports mean we won't be seeing the Seagull on US roads anytime soon. Even if it were to be imported, its price would likely climb above the $12,000 mark.
We're looking at a BYD Seagull. This vehicle was recently introduced, priced in this $11,000 range.
However, the rapid rise of affordable electric vehicles from China is set to disrupt the global auto industry in ways not seen since the 1970s, when Japanese car manufacturers reshaped the market during the oil crises. BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, could quickly become a nightmare for US automakers. As Sam Fiorani, an auto industry expert, puts it, any car company that's not paying attention to them as a competitor is going to be lost when they hit their market. The question isn't if BYD will enter the US market, it's when. With growing political tension over jobs and security, the US government is already gearing up to act. The Biden administration is expected to slap a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles, a move intended to protect American jobs and curb what's seen as a national security threat. Yet the momentum of BYD and other Chinese EV makers shows no sign of slowing, and the industry is bracing for a major shakeup. The concern raised by the Alliance for American Manufacturing highlights a critical point. Chinese-made electric vehicles, backed by significant government subsidies, are becoming a formidable competitor. This is like the rise of Japanese car companies in the 1970s, when affordable, fuel-efficient cars like the Toyota Corolla suddenly disrupted the American car market. In the same way, Chinese EV makers such as BYD are offering low-cost electric cars that could sweep through the global market and leave more expensive brands struggling to keep up.
Today we have a BYD Seagull with a 82.5 kilowatt battery in ice blue. This vehicle benefits from many features such as the panoramic roof.
Elon Musk has even warned that without trade barriers, these Chinese EVs, with their superior quality at lower prices, could potentially drive many global car companies out of business, much like how low-cost tech manufacturers in Asia redefined the electronics industry. And just so you know why this is concerning for traditional car companies, here's why. What makes this even more concerning for traditional automakers is that outside China, EVs have largely remained a luxury for the wealthy. Brands like Tesla, or even electric models from established automakers like Mercedes or Audi, cater mostly to high-income buyers. But Chinese automakers are flipping the script, producing affordable EVs that appeal to the average consumer. This is happening at the same time as governments worldwide are pushing for a transition away from gas-powered vehicles to combat climate change. It's like seeing budget-friendly smartphones become widely available just as the world was moving toward mobile technology. Suddenly, what was once a premium product is accessible to the masses, and this democratization of EVs could reshape the auto industry in much the same way. Bill Russo, a consultant based in Shanghai, points out the key difference, stating that Western markets gentrified EVs, limiting their reach. But China is democratizing them, which is why Chinese companies are set to succeed as they expand globally. In Detroit, Caresoft Global dismantled a BYD Seagull, and its findings sent shockwaves through the US auto industry.
Since they started tracking it in the early 90s, General Motors has been the top dog when it comes to auto sales here in the US.
Terry Wojciechowski, the company's president and a former GM engineer, described the Seagull as a wake-up call for American automakers, highlighting just how far behind they are in producing affordable electric vehicles. The Seagull's design is a lesson in cost-effective innovation, such as using a single windshield wiper to cut down on expenses and weight. Its lightweight structure, 900 pounds less than a Chevrolet Bolt, allows it to go farther on a smaller battery, making it more efficient and appealing to budget-conscious consumers. This kind of ingenuity poses a significant challenge to U.S. carmakers, who must now accelerate their efforts to compete with China's low-cost, high-efficiency EVs. BYD, short for Build Your Dreams, has found a way to significantly cut costs by taking a more hands-on approach to manufacturing. They make many of their own parts, from electric motors to dashboards, and use lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are cheaper than the more common lithium-ion batteries, though they provide slightly less range. This strategy, combined with BYD's massive production scale, selling 3 million cars globally last year, gives the company a huge competitive edge. It is more like a tech company that not only designs its products, but also makes the chips and hardware in-house, allowing it to offer high-quality devices at a fraction of the cost. Despite its simplicity, BYD's Seagull feels sturdy and well-crafted.
The Seagull includes a 4-seater, 5-entryway design in a hatchback body style with a length of just 3,780 millimeters, 148.8 in.
Its minimalist design doesn't take away from the driving experience. It's quiet, smooth, and handles well enough to safely enter highways, even though it's not as fast as some pricier electric vehicles. However, before hitting the US market, BYD would need to make some modifications to meet stricter safety regulations, which could increase the price. For now, high tariffs keep BYD from selling cars directly in the US, but they're already making waves elsewhere. The Seagull is available in Latin America for around $21,000, while in Europe, they're offering higher-end models like the Seal, starting at $50,000 in France, showing they can cater to both affordable and premium markets. Chinese automakers are charging ahead with a new generation of electric vehicles, setting their sights on both local dominance and global expansion. These EVs are more than just energy efficient. They're designed to be larger, more comfortable, and packed with cutting-edge technology, making them serious contenders in the global car market. This year alone, 71 new battery-powered models will hit the market, offering features like taller hoods that give a more commanding appearance, larger tires for improved braking, and thicker, more comfortable seating. Chinese automakers are also innovating with smaller but more powerful batteries that recharge faster, making their vehicles more practical for everyday use. These changes aren't just aimed at domestic consumers, but are part of a broader push to make Chinese EVs more appealing abroad.
A factory of the future. China's grand bet is on green technology and these electric vehicles. Globally, the scale is staggering. More than half of all new EVs sold worldwide are from China.
The rise of these battery-powered cars and plug-in hybrids is already eating into the sales of traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. In addition to better design and battery technology, Chinese automakers are leading the way in autonomous driving systems. Recently, Chinese authorities gave the green light for more advanced self-driving cars, including models from Tesla, BYD, and NIO, showing the government's commitment to making China a global leader in this space. In contrast, the US government has been more cautious with Tesla's autopilot. But in China, the public and regulators view autonomous technology as a safer alternative to human drivers. Chinese automakers are investing heavily in this area, turning their cars into what GUA's VP of design called robots on wheels. Leading the charge is CATL, the world's largest battery maker, which unveiled a battery that can provide 370 miles of range with just a 10-minute charge, groundbreaking for long-distance travel. These advancements allow automakers to offer vehicles with more spacious interiors and luxurious back seats, a key selling point as customers increasingly demand more comfort in their vehicles. Globally, this wave of innovation is sending shockwaves through the auto industry. Companies like Tesla remain the primary competitors in the EV space.
Tesla should be able to capitalize on IRA tax credits more than any other automaker. Shares are down nearly 2% this afternoon.
But even they are feeling the pressure from Chinese brands, which are rapidly expanding their reach. In Europe, Chinese-made EVs are steadily gaining market share, making up 10% of the market, and prompting an investigation into whether China's electric vehicles are being unfairly subsidized. At the Beijing Auto Show, Western brands like Ford and General Motors struggled to match the excitement around Chinese manufacturers, who are now eyeing the US market. Ford, for instance, had a rocky start with its Mustang Mach-E due to production delays, while Chinese companies like Geely are already exporting their Polestar models to the US, despite having to navigate steep tariffs. As Chinese automakers continue to innovate and expand, the global competition is heating up, and US and European car manufacturers must quickly adapt if they hope to keep pace in the evolving world of electric vehicles. US automakers, particularly Ford, are realizing the urgency of the competition posed by Chinese EV makers like BYD. Jim Farley, Ford's CEO, has witnessed the rapid rise of Chinese electric vehicles in Europe, where they now account for 10% of the market. This shift is forcing Ford to rethink its strategy and develop a more affordable EV to compete. Farley's warning, which says, "Don't take anything for granted," emphasizes the seriousness of the situation, meaning that American companies can no longer rely on their legacy or existing market share.
And let's begin with development in US, where major US and foreign automakers, they have backed environmental protection agencies' new tougher vehicle emission regulations in a court challenge brought by some states and ethanol groups.
To stay competitive, they must adapt quickly, innovating in both design and cost efficiency to meet the challenge from China's fast-evolving EV industry. But China's journey to dominance didn't just start yesterday, it started a long time ago. Let's take a look at how it all began. The beginning of electric vehicles in China. China's journey with electric vehicles is a story of a massive change. In the 1990s and early 2000s, China's cities were literally filled with thick smog, and the country was spending a lot of money importing oil to keep up with its growing energy needs. The government realized that something had to change, not just to clean up the air, but also to reduce its reliance on other countries for oil. So they decided to push for electric vehicles. What began as small, slow experiments funded by the government turned into a huge transformation. Over time, China went from barely producing any EVs to becoming the top player in the global EV market. It all started in 2001 when China made the bold move to invest in clean energy technology through a program called the 863 program. The goal was to find new ways to reduce pollution and dependence on oil, and electric cars were a big part of that plan. Initially, progress in the electric vehicle (EV) industry was slow in China due to high costs and low demand, but government support played a crucial role in changing this trajectory. Over 2 decades, the Chinese government invested in research.
Talking through the need for China to enhance its strategic, scientific and technological capability, he said that China will strive to make major breakthroughs in core technologies in key fields as well.
Offered consumer incentives and collaborated with state-owned automakers like SAIC Motor and FA Group to develop early prototypes of electric and hybrid vehicles. The significant turning point occurred around 2010 when China introduced its first major policy framework to promote EVs, including subsidies for consumers and funding for charging infrastructure. This led to the launch of the New Energy Vehicle (NEV) plan in 2012, setting ambitious production and sales targets for battery-only electric vehicles, BEVs, and plug-in hybrids. The decade witnessed rapid advancements in EV technology, primarily driven by domestic companies like BYD Auto, which transitioned from battery manufacturing to EV production, with models like the BYD Chin becoming bestsellers. Other automakers, such as SAIC Motor and Geely, also joined the market, fostering competition and innovation. Today, China leads the world in EV production and sales, accounting for nearly half of all EVs globally. By the mid-2010s, China's EV market had started gaining momentum. The government rolled out aggressive incentives for NEV production, pushing automakers to increase their EV output. Cities like Shenzhen and Beijing began transitioning public transportation fleets, particularly buses, to electric power.
In just 3 years, all of Shenzhen's 16,000 buses have gone electric. The city's bus drivers have been retrained, and there are now 5,000 charging points at bus depots.
China's ability to build EV infrastructure, like charging stations, also improved dramatically, with cities mandating the construction of public and residential charging points. By 2020, China had become the undisputed global leader in electric vehicle production and sales. In that year alone, 1.3 million plug-in EVs were sold in China, representing over 40% of global sales. The explosive growth was driven by consumer demand, improved technology, and government policies that now included strict quotas on automakers for EV production. China's domestic manufacturers, particularly BYD, NIO, XPeng, and SAIC Motor, continued to innovate, producing EVs that were more affordable and competitive in both quality and performance compared to their foreign counterparts. Tesla, recognizing the importance of the Chinese market, opened its Gigafactory in Shanghai in 2020, marking the first time a foreign automaker was allowed to fully own a factory in China. Tesla's success in China further validated the country's growing EV market. In 2021, the Chinese government continued its commitment to NEVs with the announcement of the dual credit system, which set mandatory quotas for automakers to produce electric vehicles. The government also began reducing subsidies to encourage the industry to become self-sustaining, pushing manufacturers to improve cost efficiency and technological innovation.
24th China High-Tech Fair concluded on Saturday in Shenzhen, South China's Guangdong province, highlighting innovation-driven development. The 5-day event attracted over 5,600 exhibitors from 41 countries and regions.
By 2023, plug-in EVs accounted for 37% of all vehicle sales in China, with battery-only EVs holding a 25% market share, demonstrating the massive shift toward fully electric solutions. Despite all of these, it is important to note that the battery industry plays a key role, and here's how. Why the battery industry is so important. A big reason behind China's success in electric vehicles is its control of the battery supply chain. Batteries are a huge part of an EV's cost, about 1/3, so China knew early on that investing in battery production would give it a major advantage. The country poured resources into building up its battery industry, and companies like CATL, Contemporary Amperex Technology Company Limited, became leaders in the field. Today, CATL not only supplies batteries to Chinese car makers, but also to global giants like Tesla, BMW, and Volkswagen. By 2020, China was responsible for over 70% of the world's lithium-ion battery production. This dominance in the battery industry gave China a huge edge in the EV market, because these batteries are essential for powering electric cars. With such control over this critical part of the EV ecosystem, China secured its spot as a key player in the global transition to electric mobility, making it hard for other countries to catch up.
What about the units that power those cars? I'm talking about batteries. It's equally important, if not more. And one country is monopolizing this industry. That country is China.
Despite China's dominance in the electric vehicle market, it still faces some significant challenges. One of the biggest issues is the phase-out of government subsidies. For years, the Chinese government provided financial support to both manufacturers and consumers to make EVs more affordable. These subsidies helped companies lower production costs while still making high-quality vehicles. But as the subsidies are gradually reduced, manufacturers are feeling the pressure to keep prices competitive without cutting corners on quality. This is pushing companies to find new ways to lower costs, whether through cheaper materials or more efficient manufacturing processes, all while still offering reliable, safe vehicles. A significant challenge facing the electric vehicle industry in China is the inadequate charging infrastructure, particularly in rural areas where access to charging stations is limited compared to major cities like Beijing and Shanghai, making EV ownership impractical for many residents. This lack of infrastructure can deter potential buyers in less populated regions, where the convenience and feasibility of owning an electric vehicle are compromised. Additionally, there is increasing pressure on manufacturers to innovate with emerging technologies, such as solid-state batteries, which promise to revolutionize the market with their enhanced safety, faster charging capabilities, and greater energy storage compared to traditional lithium-ion batteries. Despite these obstacles, China remains committed to its ambition to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060, viewing the expansion of the EV market as integral to its strategy for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and establishing itself as a leader in green technology. This commitment to innovation and infrastructure development.
China's green technology has been put on the spotlight at the 2017 Sustainable Innovation Expo in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi.
Reveals China's determination to overcome challenges and accelerate the transition to electric mobility. The electric vehicle industry is changing, with a focus on generating electricity and building the infrastructure needed to deliver it. A consulting group called Oliver Wyman says that utility companies are starting to create plans for how they will support the EV market over time. In China, companies like State Grid Corporation and Nari Technology are investing a lot in this infrastructure to strengthen their market position. The Chinese government is also backing the EV industry with policies that encourage less use of gasoline and help reduce emissions, like offering subsidies and tax breaks. Although the electric car market is still small, recent news like BMW and Mercedes-Benz teaming up to build a fast-charging network shows that there are efforts underway to grow this industry. China's influence in the global EV market is set to expand rapidly as it enters new international markets, with companies like BYD already making strides in Europe and Latin America. China's dominance stems from its early investments in battery technology and extensive EV infrastructure, allowing it to produce affordable, technologically advanced vehicles that appeal to a broad range of consumers. With continued government support and a strong focus on innovation, China is not just meeting its own growing demand for electric mobility, but is also poised to shape the future of transportation worldwide. As more countries push for carbon neutrality and electric vehicles, China's strategic positioning could make it the undisputed leader in the EV industry, setting global standards for affordability, sustainability, and performance. How long do you think it will take for China to take over the EV industry completely? We would love to know in the comments. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next updates. Also, click the next video on your screen to enjoy more exciting content.